Somehow, we're already just 7 months away from Apple unveiling the next major version of iOS. So today I want to go over the early leaks and rumors for iOS 19 because this is sounding like the most divisive iPhone update so far. I say that because just as many cool things as Apple's going to be changing, there's a huge drawback that not many people have mentioned so far, and it just marks a major shift for how Apple releases things. We'll get to that a bit later in the video. First though, what are the big rumors so far for new features in iOS 19? Well, kicking things off is a completely revamped version of Siri, rebuilt from the ground up and essentially engineered from scratch. But wait, we've heard Siri was going to get better every year for like a decade now, so what makes this rumor any different from anything else we've ever heard? Well, let me explain. According to this report, current and old versions of Siri are built off of outdated AI models that have not scaled with the current available technology. They're based on a more static source of information, and that's why they don't really ever understand what you're saying or asking. iOS 19 Siri, on the other hand, is going to be based off of a large language model infrastructure. This is something that can comprehend context and nuance better. It can understand the text of what you're actually trying to say because it operates more like a human. There's a direct quote that says iOS 19 will be able to have back and forth conversations, which suggests the new Siri isn't just going to be able to answer queries, but like actually engage with you in the way we've always wanted. To be clear, this would be a massive undertaking for Apple, and considering their current track record with the quality of their existing AI features, I'm not exactly confident, but this is just the first time ever we've heard that Apple is restarting old Siri deleted, new Siri built from the ground up, and that gives me some level of excitement. Now, next up, as if we had any doubt, iOS 19 is also going to be a huge AI update for Apple. It's not just the new version of Siri. Apple has confirmed that moving forward for the iPhone, they are going to be releasing new features as part of Apple Intelligence. It sounds like every year. And with iOS 19, you'll be able to customize your iPhone AI even further. Like right now, aside from Apple's own AI models, they only allow one third-party option on the iPhone, and that's ChatGPT, which with iOS 18.2 will be legitimately baked into the iPhone in a way we never thought we would see. And as someone who has tested this, it's pretty useful as a fallback for when Siri can't get things right. Cool, but what if I want to use a different AI model from somebody else? Well, Apple has said that they want to add other third-party options to the iPhone moving forward. And in iOS 19, it's possible we could see the addition of Google Gemini, which is Google's large language model currently in use for Google search today. Personally, I found Google Gemini to be better than ChatGPT. So it's cool that Apple feels open-minded into adding different options rather than in the past they've been like, this is the one route, this is all you're getting for the next year. iOS 19 is going to continue to give you more choice and control over your iPhone, which I think is dope. Next, another big focus of iOS 19 is Apple's commitment to privacy and security. And that's why I partnered up with NordPass, who sponsored today's video. NordPass is an intuitive password manager for businesses and individuals created by the experts behind NordVPN, which is one of my oldest sponsors and one of my favorite companies because it is so helpful for my workflow. NordPass not only allows you to store, manage, and share passwords, credit card details, and other sensitive information super easily, but it also flags breaches and highlights personal data that's circulating around the dark web. As somebody who runs a business and manages a team, NordPass makes it so simple to share logins to all of our different accounts, and the interface is also so good with apps for all of your devices. NordPass ensures the highest privacy and security standards for customers through end-to-end encryption and a zero-knowledge architecture, so you can be confident that all of your data is safe. And right now, you can get a 3-month free trial of NordPass Business when you go to nordpass.com/AppleTrack using the link down below in the description. A huge thank you to NordPass for sponsoring this one and making my life so much easier. Now, let's get back to it. Of course, Apple is also working on some additional AI features. Like, it's possible iOS 19 could add an AI playlist music generation feature. We've sort of seen this with Spotify doing this AI DJ that's a bit of a gimmick. But with AI getting so good, Apple could certainly notice the music that you listen to the most and smartly curate a playlist that is exactly what you want to hear. We've also heard that Spotlight Search could be improving as Apple incorporates their new Siri language model into there, so when you're typing in questions on your phone, it can be answered by Apple themselves or this third-party Google Gemini model that's being added. Now, to be fair, we heard both of these rumors for iOS 18 last year, and they didn't end up shipping when we thought they would, so it's likely they just got delayed until iOS 19 a year year later. All this being said though, there is one feature in iOS 19 that I cannot wait to see because like statistically it has to launch in 2025, and that is the brand new version of CarPlay that Apple showed off actually back in 2022. This was the complete redesign that would have bespoke automaker interfaces put into a bunch of new vehicles that were supposed to begin in 2024 but did not happen yet. And even though a couple of automakers like Porsche and Aston Martin have already shown off their exact look for the custom interfaces and even mentioned cars, there is still yet to be a hard, concrete release date for when the first new CarPlay vehicle will be on the road. Because genuinely, this all-new version of CarPlay was one of the slickest interfaces Apple has ever shown off, and considering now that the Apple Car has been all but officially canceled, this will be the closest we ever get to an Apple Car. And by all current indications, this should finally release as part of iOS 19. Wait a second, all of this sounds really great, and iOS 19 sounds like Apple is catching up in AI and giving their users the best possible iPhone experience, beating everybody else. So what's the catch? What is going to make iOS 19 so divisive? Well, we're hearing that even though Apple is going to be still adding a lot in iOS 19, the features aren't going to exactly be available when they have been in the past. See, historically, every year when Apple announces a new version of iOS, it launches in beta for developers in June and releases to everybody in September. And when that final release in September happens, alongside the new iPhones, it's like 95% done. As for the features that didn't get finished, they're pretty quickly added to a 0.1 or 0.2 release later that year. But with iOS 19, we're hearing that a larger number of features than usual have already been delayed to iOS 19.4. And that update is scheduled to release in March of 2026. So almost 9 months after the original vision for iOS 19 will have been shown off at Apple's event. And it's not just going to be some small features pushed. The completely re-engineered and rebuilt version of Siri for iOS 19, that's confirmed for March of 2026 in iOS 19.4. And it sounds like a bunch of other stuff Apple announces is also going to be placed pretty late in the release cycle. Either way, at this point, even if we have to wait for it, I just want the AI on the iPhone to be good. And it sounds like while iOS 18 was the break it all and sort of rush it release, iOS 19 is going to be the take your time, get it right. And if it's those two philosophies, I think the take your time, get it right is the correct solution. Okay, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, hit subscribe for more videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.